American le gore ke bone the owners ba DBS le Botswana directly ba setse ba dirile projection ya gore recovery data on the third quarter of 2025.
Yes.
But one can also hope that this signing can also, because that is their own projection, one can also gore on the other side marketing ba ba rekang bone ba tla excited gore ba tla lemoga gore what has been regarded as the most successful triple P in the world has finally put a pen to the paper after that shaky environment in 2023.
Yeah. At the time when Botswana and DBS came together and said, we will agree to have a joint venture to set up a company called Botswana, I think the world was perhaps wondering, how is this going to pan out? How is this going to be? But as you said, it has become one of the agreements that has become a pace setter to many people around the world, other countries, especially those that come from civil wars in Africa and have a lot of mining potential, perhaps are looking forward to replicating what Botswana and DBS has done. But it also has its own sides that are not as impressive to many people. Remember that initially in the early 2000s, many people were not agreeing, in the industry were not agreeing that Botswana can host the cutting and manufacturing, cutting and polishing industry, because they were fearing that it is a sweatshop-like business. And that was compared to what is happening mainly in other countries, and not ignoring what in European countries such as Belgium, that those industries are actually thriving. I want to hear from you. Is there anything that has been a disappointment so far between the Botswana and DBS agreement?
Yeah, I think if there's anything that the world can take from this agreement or from this relationship, yeah, DBS and Botswana, it's supposed to be a model, or it's acting as a model or a template, yeah, how the triple P model could go about, or the triple P way of business could go about. When the DTCB was moving here in 2013, we know one of the things that the other sectors would benefit from it. Those are the numbers that we are actually still hunting for, to say in terms of the site holders. You know, DBS has 10 cycles where site holders come to Gaborone at least 10 times in a year to come and buy diamonds. What we need to hunt for is the numbers in terms of the impact in the hospitality sector. For those people, habata, for instance, abata ka Botswana ba tswa ko Johannesburg, abata ka private jet, where do they sleep and all the like. If the numbers have not reached what we have targeted, that's an opportunity for us as a country to say, how then do we tweak it such that we ultimately benefit other sectors? And in a way, that's also a diversification, away from the mineral sector in terms of revenue collection.
Mm-hmm. And I think once we go that route, the expectation would be that the foreign revenue will not, going forward, not be largely coming from one industry, which is the diamonds at the moment. I note that you keep referring to triple P, and I think the Vice President will be excited that you've taken that up, because in his speech, he also talks about triple P as one way that they are going to find it's easy to, or rather embrace triple P going forward, to do a lot of developments across the country, projects to be done through triple P arrangements. And of course, we have examples of that besides Botswana. We have examples of that that has happened. I think it was during Remohai, the creation of, or the building of the Sadek House, the building of another one in the main mall. I want to learn from you, if you can, if you have that information, what delayed the full embracing of triple Ps in Botswana then?
I think it's an issue of wealth transfer, because look, there was a point where we went out and said we are looking for foreign direct investment. We had foreign investors coming largely in the financial sector. I would say that there's a sizable number of foreigners who came in heavily during Nakwahare. We know how many banks came through, even way back during Nakwahare Masir. And we're also looking at getting investors in other sectors. But the delay largely came from the fact that when we were creating wealth from diamonds, we were then not able to transfer it to the indigenous Botswana. So that also killed the whole process, because Harare Triple P, we are not just saying Triple P or the private sector is foreign. We are also looking at domestic investors or investors by Botswana. So because we're not able to transfer the wealth to Botswana. That also impacted the rollout here in Triple P. Or the foreign investors that are not interested in certain sectors, for instance, in agro processing or food processing, we are likely not going to see that model because but they're not interested more food processing. Ba mo Botswana ba batlang go dira Triple P, gongwe bone ga bana the finance, but they were interested in going into partnership with the public sector or with the government. So I think that's where the delay was in terms of financing and also development of entrepreneurs in our country.
Mm-hmm. We're continuing with the story of the signing of the agreement, the marketing and sales, and of course the mining between Botswana and DBS. And I'm with me here, Victor Batwing, a fellow journalist specializing in business news. Let's just talk about the appetite or the interest of companies to play in the Triple P space. There was a time, I think it was in 2005, when Ramogai went to South Africa and pleaded and told companies there, he was addressing the community of business people in Cape Town. And he said, look, we've got Mama Bula, we want to start a project there in Mama Bula, and we're looking for companies that can partner with us through Triple P to do this. And it never happened. Right now as we speak, it's actually been done by one company. Is it this telling us that there are some, as you said earlier, there are some areas that we are not yet good enough to sell the Triple P model?
Yeah, but you also look, we are playing in a geopolitics. So part of it, for example, the project you just gave example of, Mama Bula, was largely to a large extent sabotaged by our neighbor because they were supposed to be the buyers from the project.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I'm going to engage you going forward, but we're going to end it here and go to the studio to continue with much more that you at home are expecting.
Bagaetso, hurt people will hurt other people. So let's break the cycle of violence. Seek help, even if you were abused many years ago. Do not wait for a volcanic eruption of your emotions. Say no to gender-based violence. It starts with you.
How are you? Really, how are you? If this question irritates you, if it sparks a lump in your throat, please get help and talk about it and say no to any form of violence.
Nearly 1 in 4 females and 1 in 7 males aged 18 and 24 who have experienced childhood sexual violence have had their first incident happen at 13 or before 30. This could be your story. It could be your husband's story, your children's story, your mother's, even your father's. So open your eyes, open your ears, use your voice. Say no to gender-based violence. Hashtag no excuse.
Gender-based violence is an injustice that silences potential and destroys lives. It is not just a personal issue, it's a societal crisis. We must stand together and break the cycle, speak out, and support those who suffer. By raising our voices, we create a safer, more equal world for all. Change starts with each one of us. Let's stand together and stop the violence today. Hashtag enough is enough.
This is us. We like to walk, talk, and dance until the earth shakes. We like to play. After all, our backyard is 75,000 square kilometers of pristine wilderness. At night, we celebrate under the blanket of the stars. And when day rewards night with a beautiful sunrise, we are welcoming Duma. So come and fall in love with Botswana. Our pride, your destination.
metsotso e le lesome le barataro morago nako ya bongwe motho a gaetsho tla rena di atlametseng go le re dikgantse moragonyana mme kana ne re tshwere ke tse dingwe tse e leng dikgang le tsone tsa botlhokwa mo go rena re le tšhaba a re tsena ka tlhamalalo mo go lebeng ditlhogo tsa dikgang tsa nakotse. Puso ya Botswana le kompone ya DBS di tla saena tumalano ya theko le thekiso ya diteemane mo tsatsing leno. Dikolo tsa puso go ralala lefatshe leno di butswe gompieno kwa ntle ga tsa kgaolo ya kgatleng. Fa batshameki ba motshameko wa netball keletso go ntho le Cheludo David ba tla tshameka kwa ligeng ya Singapore kgwedi e tlang ya Mopitlo. Ke go amogetse motho a gaetsong ka mogela ke ona ra banteng ka la katšhane ke na le tshepiso sekolo a ranola ka puo ya diatla mme Tumo Mpatane o tla go le retsetsa metshameko a re di simololefa lefatshe la Botswana le kompone ya DBS di saene tumalano e ntšha ya thekiso ya diteemane mono Gaborone gompe tota di tla saena tumalano e ntšha ya thekiso ya diteemane mono Gaborone mo tsatsing leno. Bobedi jo bo saena tumalano e jaana ba sena go etsa dipuisano kgwedi eno ka ya tlhakolo ha irogwa. Dipuisano tseo tse di saleng di simolotse ka ngwaga 2018 go ne go ikaeletswe ka tsone go šaga sa diteseletso tsa go epa diteemane kwa